Hello, my name is Jeff Mack, and I'm largely talking about cancellation these days. At the moment, I'm talking about my own cancellation, not in this particular video about the exact circumstances of it. That's a rather long video, I think, or probably a rather long series of videos. I was canceled some 5 years ago, and really I've only started to address it now. That is, my entire life certainly changed rather dramatically, but I a lot of things had to become quite different in my life before I could start thinking about what this meant to me, and for that matter, before I had more perspective on cancellation. I mean, one problem I think I had telling my story right from the beginning was the thought that 5 years ago, at least in the culture that was being curated around me, I could barely find anyone who would listen to someone who might be attacking the idea of cancellation in general and not have that person immediately be thrown into a particular political side. There was no concept that cancellation itself was a cultural force which is just visible enough and real enough and has enough strange consequences that we're all sort of dealing with it. What I really want to address is something that some kind folks have brought up as a critique from my last video, and I got some really positive feedback. Thank you to everyone who gave me ideas and thoughts, and thank you for all of the kind comments as well. It was brought up to me that people around me, at least, not people who don't know me, but people around me, often wonder why I'm still talking about these things 5 years later. Not in the sense that they don't matter, just in the sense that people often say that they would like to see me moving on. I can tell you I have indeed moved on. My life is extremely different. I am happier as a writer than I was as an event producer, but I do still love producing events. I just have a rather different philosophy about it and about how I'd like to do it. What I want to talk about next time, so if you follow these videos, should probably be the next one, is why so many other people really want to keep this current. That I would be perfectly fine leaving this behind me. I mean, I'd probably actually want to start really analyzing it no matter what, but it wouldn't be as important to me if it wasn't something that other people found essential to bring to me on the regular. Now, the original subject of this video, which will be the actual subject for tonight because I do want to put a video out, but this one's going to be quite short, is a weird note, which is that I generally do not know what it is people have accused me of. I mean, my primary source for that would be one of two websites, maybe three, where I've had a really good opportunity to have a really good look at their content. In most cases, it's just one article. The one case where it's several articles, the content is something that other people tend to bring to me as being objectively terrible and visibly not particularly true. More than a few people have come to me and said, there's an article about someone who sounds rather like me in there. In fact, I'm pretty sure that is me. That is partly my story, but the rest is not at all accurate. I've even occasionally had people bring me the idea that they're pretty sure they recognize part of one story from themselves, and then other people recognize part of. I apologize. It's such a long, silly thing. I'm afraid that this is really going to end up most likely as being a background video on my Patreon and not necessarily something I post to YouTube for a while. This whole process has become so strange. The example I'm likely to talk about later is why, for example, the people who are really, really, really completely and deeply, huh, you know, even when I try to talk about it, everything I say sounds hyperbolic. the people who crashed the Steampunk World's Fair and are responsible for all of the financial hurt, damage, destruction, fallout, um, you know, so most directly Michael Whitehouse and Tammy Ships, those people, just to name two, and their friends, their partners, the folks around them, really don't want me talking about this stuff because when I do discuss it, I'll be able to talk very simply about how one simply cannot claim to manage something and be running it and destroy it in that same claim and then claim someone else is supposed to pay for you destroying it. It's not how things work. But tonight, I'm just getting back into the habit of doing videos, and I just wanted to talk to you folks again. It's really only beginning to hit me how much understanding what happened 5 years ago hasn't really been possible until a number of things became different in my life. And until I really started telling the story, I didn't realize how much story there was to tell. Thank you for listening. I am Jeff Mack, and I look forward to speaking to you another time.